Yep, that's us, off again on another travel adventure. This trip started with a ferry ride from Cape Jarvis, about an hour drive south from Adelaide, and then across to Kangaroo Island. We were met at Seal Bay by some of the locals. Generally, people think that seals are just fat and lazy, laying around all day on the beach. What we learned, however, is that seal swims 200 nautical miles out to the continental shelf, where it can eat up to 80% of its body weight, and then swims back to shore and rests for 3 days, repeating the process over and over again. Back in the car park, there was a little surprise waiting for everyone.
Those are the old days. Got to find.
The coastline of Kangaroo Island is picturesque, but very rugged, and it's been the end of many ships.
Just so you know, I'm letting you go to find a better life on the other side.
At the raptor domain, we got to learn a little bit more about these magnificent birds of prey.
To find a better life on the other side.
This is Kylie, an Australian hobby falcon. Hobbies catch their prey mid-air, and here we can see the speed at which they attack. Did you miss that? Let's see it again, slowed down 10 times.
Find my way out, so I could control you. My heart grew cold with you, but I'm climbing my own way out. Just so you know, letting you go to find a better life on the other side.
He's pretty happy. He does like to take him to dog park as well. And you're doing a really good job even with the cockatoos out. Hey, here's a baby there, so very, very
Letting you go on the other side.
After a couple of days on Kangaroo Island, we then headed back to Adelaide, where the Fringe Festival was in full swing. The botanical gardens were converted into a theatre and sideshow precinct. We took a day trip to Harndorf, a quaint village steeped in German heritage. Harndorf is surrounded by vineyards and berry gardens. We even found a gin distillery where we did a tasting and bought a very nice bottle to bring home. After Mount Lofty, we drove down to Glenelg and had a look at the city from the beach. The next day saw us hit the Barossa Valley, and our first stop, of course, Maggie Beer's farm shop. Being an avid watcher of The Cook and the Chef on SBS, Gary was compelled to pose on the filming set. We thought it would be nice to take a drive out and see the Murray River. However, nothing had prepared us for the scenes of loss and devastation we found at Blanchetown. Apparently 3 weeks earlier, there had been substantial flooding of the Murray that just totally devastated this small town.
Riding the wind through the canyon and over riverbed. Soft as the snow, as firm as the pines in this day.
Things were a little nicer back at Kapunda, where we explored the remains of the old mine.
Rain in the front range in the morning, clear skies.
You could spend weeks visiting the cellar doors in the Barossa.
Midsummer's night dream that came true. Came to lay me down.
The vineyards range from the small family vineyards to the ultra-rich establishments like this one at Seppels Field. Peter Lehman's, we opted for a nice Shardy and a VSV, or their special vintage 2018 Harvest Valley View Road Shiraz, to enjoy with my brother Rob, who also lives in the Barossa.
Wildfire spread.
Of course, chocolate is always welcome.
August 21st. Blaze lit up the town. You could hear a daughter's father's prayers. All the years burning just the same.
One of the sights to see is the sculpture park at Mangler Hill. The sculptures are interesting, but the whole area could really do with some TLC.
Just the same.
Our last stop was a lavender farm, unfortunately not in season, but it was still an interesting visit.
Birds with red chemicals. Calling the volunteers.
And so we say farewell to Adelaide, a plane ride home where we got a good view of the farmlands and the Murray River, before settling in to land over Moreton Bay, Robbie Island and home.